Hey Gemini, we're here to have a look at the next 72 hours, the themes that will be introducing themselves into your life in the lead up to the Scorpio full moon that's going to go down on the 12th. It's a pretty significant juncture we're arriving at here, closing up a major Plutonian cycle here. So I do expect the landscape to shift, to change. This is for any strong Gemini placement, or if you are Sagittarius rising, that makes you a Gemini descendant. So let's just dive right in. I did get an initial message coming in for you that you're about to see some kind of poetic justice go down. Somebody who maybe found some kind of safety or cover in their entourage, it's got that kind of vibe. This could be like a certain social group or something. Sort of like the leader of the pack is having a moment where they're getting caught up for some kind of actions they took. This could even involve some kind of legal ramifications. This could involve some kind of theft or something related to funny money here. That's what I just got as an initial sort of bullet point coming in. This is not going to be the easiest full moon energy, but I do feel like whatever this is coming in, you're seeing it as poetic justice. Like I just heard it's high time. Okay. You feel like somebody's been a coward in a situation. You feel like they haven't really faced the music. They haven't owned their actions. And you may appreciate the accountability. All right. Opening message. Look at it. Joker, funny money coming up in the shadow. Yeah, they thought it was real funny until they got caught up here. I think you're getting some kind of news about this, right? So I did pick that message up. That's wild that would come out as an opener. So that lets you know, I mean, this is a pretty tricky sort of energy. Something's coming to an end. Somebody's time of having fun with some finances that weren't theirs to mess around with is coming to a close here. Yeah, this could have been some kind of tampering with the business, or somebody taking a little bit off the top, or somebody just stealing straight out of your pocket here. Like something shady was going on here. Earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or this could have something to do with a business of yours. Somebody who was interfering with that, interfering with profits that should have been yours, success that belonged to you, rights to certain creative property as well that's yours. And you felt like you weren't getting a return in your investment here. In some cases, this is related to an investment. Okay. Yeah, there's something here that you've had a hard time seeing results, seeing the results that you should have seen, getting the profits that you should have gleaned here. Something has been going on a little bit funny in relation to some money here. Stability matters really coming in to the forefront of this picture I got. Okay. It feels like for a lot of you, this is coming through the realm of like a business of yours, a business of your own. I'm picking this up really strongly for entrepreneurs, but certainly it could be any kind of investment. I feel like this would be a partner in the mix in terms of an investment and something funny going on with the money, the assets. This person's getting caught up. They're getting caught up. There's something about they thought that they could find cover in their entourage. I don't know what that's about. Like maybe this person feels like they have a certain status or something that allows them to get away with these things. Oof. With that, we got that F around and find out card coming out. Oh man, with the discover, learn, and play card here. Well, time to get a seat at the table and see the hand they're dealt in this situation. I feel like that's what this is. Crossing energy, King of Hearts in the shadow, manipulative energy here. This could have even been somebody working somebody for their money too, you know, playing with somebody's heart because they wanted to get their hands on some resources there. We got the Ace of Hearts here. So yeah, this definitely could be related to love or somebody that you have certain affection, affinity for. This could even be somebody you're really close to here. Water sign energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You may have like sort of had a falling out with this person, or you haven't heard from this person for a while. They're reaching out to you. They're really buttering you up. You may feel like they're wanting your assistance, your help here, maybe even financially with the 10 of diamonds here coming to light. They may feel like you have the capital to get them out of a spot. Yeah, they're hoping you can help bail them out. You may even be getting word from somebody that they want you to bail them out, you know? Somebody could really be getting caught up here. Legal trouble. That's what I got. Let's see. I think they're going to want you to help them out of the jam. That's kind of how I'm picking this up here, right? Give me more details about this. What's this? Somebody thinks you can bail them out. But it's almost like there's some vibe here about maybe at one point they sort of like distanced themselves from you and they found sanctuary in their entourage. And now it's like their entourage is throwing them under the bus, you know? Now they're coming around your way, but they're laying it on real thick. I'm not saying there isn't love there. I mean, there is. I see that because the Ace of Hearts is coming up in the light. But do expect to get news from this person. And make no mistake about it, it is a manipulation. Even though I do feel like they do have genuine caring for you, there's still a manipulative tone here. They're coming towards you because this person's in need, all right? With the 5 of diamonds in the shadow, that entourage, like I said, they've been cast out in the cold now. Now they're trying to find sanctuary in you. But they, you know, they sort of like distance themselves from you at one point because maybe you couldn't, you know, fulfill their purpose anymore. This is somebody who's a little, they can be a bit of a user, you know? They get connected to people who can help them get what they want. All right. So do expect to hear from this person. But I think you feel like, well, what's hidden comes to light. There's something that you're becoming aware of here. I think you're going to figure out what's been going on behind the scenes in a situation. I do feel like this person's going to give you a version of the truth of what's happening and why they need your assistance, but it's a manipulation. But they do know that you've had a connection, right? They do know that you've had, like, you know, it looks like at one point there was a lot of love here in this connection. So they feel like, you know, that's kind of their in. It's a strange energy because, like I said, I do feel like the caring is genuine, but they're sort of banking on that as their leverage to be able to get you to help them out of a jam they're in here, it looks like. And in order to do that, they're going to have to reveal something to you, something that's been hidden. But I feel like you're getting a partial truth here. It's not like the real nitty gritty. And I think there's something here that you maybe already discovered that this person isn't aware, you know, already. And whatever you hear about rolling out here, I think you feel like really it's justice. It's poetic justice. Like, yep, that should go down like that. Let me do a cut the deck here, okay? Let's see what we got here. 9 of Spades in the shadow. This is some pretty harsh energy, man. This person's freaked out. They are. They're freaked out. They're in their head. They're afraid. They're afraid of being held accountable in this situation. So I do feel like they're approaching you from a point of desperation here. They're totally in the dark. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. And they feel like they can't fight this alone. And so they need you to help them out here. We got a Queen of Diamonds in the shadow here, okay? So we got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Again, it shows it's like a money matter here with the diamonds coming in likely. Queen of Diamonds in the shadow. This would be, again, this would be like a socialite type, okay? This is somebody who likes to be on the scene, likes to hobnob with, you know, people that they view as having status or some kind of affluence. This is somebody who goes to all the big openings, who's at all the shows, who's at all the big events, you know. They're also a gossip. They run their mouth. In the shadow, they run their mouth. And they can also be somebody who uses people to get what they need. And I do feel like they're approaching in this way. And again, this could be somebody you've done business with in the past, like you had some kind of mutual investment. This could be somebody you were in a committed relationship with as well, okay? That you later found out had options, you know, other people on the side. You learned something about this individual that you didn't know before. When you saw this, it changed your whole perspective on a certain situation and on this person. And because of this, you kind of like anticipate what this coming towards you is really about, you know? It's not really about alignment. It's that they know that you can get them out of a jam. But I feel like you think that it's just desserts because you know about what's hidden in this situation. All right, let me go ahead and get you an herbal astrology card here just so we can get some kind of like, you know, mojo medicine for you to work with in the lead up to this full moon in Scorpio, because it looks like this is going to be kind of a heavy situation. I do feel like it's good for you to, you know, maybe move away from this energy a little bit, because I see that as you move further away from this energy, you notice that things start to come in for you. Like you may have found like you were experiencing holdups or blockages in your life, and it could have been like sort of a guilt by association kind of thing. So when this person distanced themselves from you, it was in your favor. It did reveal something to you, maybe something that you couldn't see until you were distanced from them, okay? So we're going to just see what you should really be focusing on, what you should be aware of that's coming to a culmination point with this full moon in Scorpio. Guardian, yeah, I mean, I do feel like there's some kind of understanding you have here with Guardian coming on through, aligned with 55. So there's something that goes through a major change here, a situation that goes through a major change, and it was 12:12 on the clock when I first brought that in. So this is something that's a karmic matter. It's something that maybe comes unexpected. It's something that makes somebody who's been operating a little behind the scenes, hidden, to be kind of outed here and have to take accountability. But I feel like if you let this just sort of go down as it needs to go down, and you let this person sort of, you know, figure this out for themselves, you're going to have protection in this situation. There's some kind of watching over you here. You may even recognize that while it hurt you, that somebody may have pulled back from you or distanced themselves from you, that actually this was protection for you because of what you're seeing roll out here. You're going to recognize that, you know, maybe that was for the best, you know, because it allowed you not only to see the truth in a situation, but also not to get roped into this here, okay? Whatever this is, it's creating a turn of fortune for you. Okay, let me get one card. Came out here pretty quick. Mugwort, that's wild. Okay, there could be a Taurus connected to your situation. This came out for them as well. So there's some kind of deep healing that you're experiencing at this time. There's some kind of deception that you've seen through. And I do think when you saw this deception, it was really hard to kind of like take in. It was one of those shocks. It took a minute to absorb it here, to see through a certain deception. But you're wiser for the wear. That's what I feel. And I do feel like you've been in a time of deep healing. You may have had a lot of stuff sort of like coming up more like in the dream state. Rather than through direct confrontation, you may have noticed also some repressed memories coming up. There could be something about recognizing this deception, something that happened recently that reminded you of certain experiences you'd been through in the past. So it might have sort of acted as an activating point for some repressed memories to come up in you to be cleared. But I do feel like you're in a space where you're really coming into yourself, coming into your own sense of personal empowerment here, and you're wanting to step forward into your future in a new way. You're not wanting to nurture these kinds of associations. You're not wanting to deal with people where you have to wonder what the truth is. You just want things to be more clean moving forward here. And so I feel like you've been at a point of doing a lot of healing around all of this. And now's the time when you're about to get to the other side of that and head into a much more prosperous period, I feel. There's something you're recovering here in terms of your stability and your finances. That's what I feel. Bottom of the deck, look at that. Sedna, infinite supply. Yes, and there is something really deep you're healing here. Really deep, just as a foundational energy. So where you were experiencing like some kind of financial loss, somebody stole something from you or sabotaged your business or anything of this sort of nature, caused some kind of disruption in your stability, I do feel like you're going to have evidence that you are supplied for here. You know, there's more than enough of what you need to get you through into this next chapter, okay? And again, I do feel like there is that sort of energy here where it looks like you're coming into some kind of growth. It looks like financially, some kind of, you know, solid foundation that you're building for yourself here. And I feel like that's why this person's coming around. Because they're experiencing more of a reversal in fortune brought on by something they pulled, you know, that was shady here. All right. But it's not up to you to save them. It came out again. Look at that on the bottom of the deck. So yeah, where you've been feeling held back financially or you felt like you haven't had what you needed to move forward, it's coming through, okay, in a big way. And it has everything to do with you sort of coming to that place, really understanding your own personal worth, your value, what you want to invest in, where you want to invest your time, energy. Yeah, you're moving forward very independently here with Bass. And you're also opening up to a time in your life where there's going to be just like so much more pleasure, so much more enjoyment here. You're really being advised here with the goddess Solus coming out, symbolizing bodies of water, to maybe go and spend some time, especially in the lead up to the full moon, to help you with releasing all that you're letting go of here. Also closing up major personal healing journey you've been on here, and just really readying yourself to clear away the old cycle and step into the new potential that's coming in for you now. So spend time near water, such as a lake, river, or the ocean, to recharge your batteries. Because yes, I do feel like you're about to move into expansion here. And there's so much that will be like water under the bridge that you're crossing over now that's going to get you to the other side of this. But yeah, expect a little kind of flare up of some dramatics here. But in the end, what was wrong just righted here. And it's poetic justice.